Isn't it weird how you just become a mom and then all of a sudden become super anxious? I cannot do anything. Guys, please stop. Please stop for mommy gentle parenting. I can't do anything without getting anxiety. I can't go anywhere without getting anxiety. I can't go in a car, on the highway, on the road, eat a food. I'm looking at meat differently. I'm anxious about everything. Baby coughs, RSV. Lump on my neck, I'm dying. Why do I feel like this? Please, like I am so trying to find the joy in all of this, and there is joy. So please, if this is the first video you've ever seen of me and you just land on my page, I'm happy, I'm joyful, but I just feel
Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Miss Kafue. So ladies, in this video we're talking about what these moms wish they knew before becoming moms. This video is very interesting, and different moms share different things that they've learned since becoming a mother that they wish someone told them or told them before having a child. So anyway ladies, let's jump right into this video and then I'll be back to give my take on it.
One thing I wish I knew before I became a mother, sis. Nobody talks about how hard it is to become a mother and be a good mother after surviving a narcissistic mother. Nobody talks about how hard it is to parent your child different than your mother parented you. So now as a mother, not only am I trying to parent my child, but I'm trying to reparent myself. I have to literally rewire my entire thinking in order to not put my daughter through what I went through. I'm constantly battling myself, trying to not be like her, telling myself that I didn't deserve the childhood that I had. And I'm constantly taking accountability as a mother because I know that the only thing that I've ever wanted from my mom was that.
So right after you give birth, your body experiences something called the postpartum hormone drop, which is when all the hormones your body has spent the last 10 months making to make a baby plummet. It's one of the largest hormone drops the human body can have, and one of the quickest. Your body goes from like 100 to 0. You crash, and that crash creates something called the postpartum baby blues. And no matter how tight, how well taken care of, how well managed your mental health is before you had kids, 90% of people who have ever given birth experience the baby blues. While that name might sound cute and innocuous, like, oh, you're just a little sad, it's actually the deepest sadness I have ever felt, and I've been experiencing depression since I was in the 5th grade. There were times where I felt like I couldn't look at my daughter, much less hold her, because I felt like I wasn't worthy of loving her and taking care of her. I felt like I was going to break her. I used to literally hand her to my mom and say, I can't do this. But in the same breath, I also felt like I was the only person on earth who could take care of her, which means as soon as I would pass her off, I would want her right back. I was irritable, grumpy, and so exhausted that at some point I began to literally hallucinate. I had been in therapy for years. I had been prepping for this baby for a month. My mental health was the best it had been in years, and I still got molly-whopped by the baby blues. If you don't have a strong support system like I had, one filled with friends and family and people who care about you, those baby blues can quickly turn into postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, postpartum psychosis. And that is the thing that leads to the majority of new moms unaliving themselves or hurting their babies. The mental health of a person who has just given birth is something that is so delicate and so precarious. It is literally life-threatening, and y'all treat it as if it's just another lazy parent not taking care of themselves. Y'all have no empathy for others, but you also refuse to crack open a book and learn something before you speak. I suggest you figure out one or the other, because it's getting embarrassing.
Talk about things that I wish I would have known before I got pregnant. 3rd trimester edition. As much as you wish that your baby is going to have a head full of hair, baby, no you don't, because that head full of hair causes heartburn. Really bad heartburn. And take as many naps as you can in the 1st and 2nd trimester, because by the 3rd trimester, you ain't sleeping. There is no sleeping. Y'all might have some naps. I ain't getting no naps. I'm getting constant kicks to the ribs. Not to mention how many times I have to pee throughout the night. And I physically have to cross my legs before I sneeze so I don't piss on myself. Because whenever I sneeze, I'm either gonna piss myself or there's gonna feel like a lightning bolt has just shot through my fucking coochie and now I have lightning crotch. My nose, it bleeds all the time. Random nosebleeds. More nosebleeds than when I was in college, and that was quite a bit. I absolutely love to eat, but anytime I eat, I feel so bloated. Like my body can't get any bigger, that it's all just compressed into one. And then I'm like, ugh, feeling like shit for the next 4 hours until I have to eat again, because yes, I'm hungry again. Obviously, I'm not aware of my spatial surroundings because it doesn't matter where I go or what I do, I'm hitting my stomach on something. Obviously not on purpose. The refrigerator door, smacking my stomach on it. The end of the table, smacking my stomach on it. It's just like a reoccurring thing for me, and it hurts like a bitch. And I know my ass is dehydrated because as much as I want to drink water, my body just screams, Sprite, Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, and the baby wants what the baby wants. So I'm gonna get the baby what it needs, which is a big fat Sprite 3 times a day. And nothing pisses me off more than all the people that like to chirp in your ear and be like, you can't drink caffeine, you shouldn't be drinking coffee, shut the fuck up. And pregnancy takes baby barfs to a whole new level. A whole new level, okay? I am constantly burping those little baby burps, and they don't taste good. They don't taste good. They don't taste like what you just ate. They taste like there's throw up coming up, and then you just have to swallow it. There are some women that are still puking all the way into their 3rd trimester. That couldn't be me. I am so sorry for those women. My beautiful teeth, you should see it in the morning when I brush them. It looks like a fucking crime scene by how much my teeth are bleeding. It looks like I literally got punched in the face 5 times, and every time I spit out water, it's just blood. Not a little bit of blood, a lot of fucking blood. Go gestational gingivitis. We love that. And you better just pick up a hobby now for the insomnia that you're about to get, because once you hit the 3rd trimester, baby, there is no sleep. Sleep is for the wicked. I'll probably get more sleep when my newborn baby is here. Drop it in the comments if you agree.
Things I wish I put on my baby registry they ended up buying after part 2. This baby bottle sterilizer I debated putting on my registry, and I didn't, and I'm so kicking myself for it because we actually end up using this 3 times a day. The wipe warmer. Everybody said that it was dumb and don't put it on your registry. However, I got a gift card to Amazon and I ended up buying it after, and let me tell you, he loves a warm wipe, and it makes diaper changing pleasant for him and for me. And last are these Advent bottles. There were so many bottles to choose from, and I ended up picking these cute neutral bottles on my registry. However, I got a sample of one of these bottles in a sample box, and this was actually the only bottle that he wasn't choking on, and he can control the flow himself like the breast. So I highly recommend these bottles. Everything listed on my Amazon storefront.
One thing I wish I truly would have realized before I became a mom is that if you're lucky, your children will grow up. And what I mean by that is that I think we sometimes get fascinated with having a baby, but we don't realize that if we're lucky, that baby will then become a toddler, will then become an adolescent, will then become a teenager or a preteen, and then become an adult and possibly leave you. Like, I think I was just so in love and enthralled with the thought of having this little baby goo-gooing and loving me the most, that now when I see my 12-year-old wanting to make his own connections with his own friends and knowing that I have only 6 more years of him potentially living in my house, I wouldn't have done this. I would not have done this. I would not have broken my heart up into 4 pieces, each chamber, and gave it to folk who were going to leave me. Now that's just stupid. It is the dumbest thing ever.
Are you about to have a baby? Did you know that when babies are first born, they don't know that they are a separate person from their mother? So it takes a baby 4 to 6 months to figure out that they are their own individual person. When they're first born, they don't have the mental capacity or the motor skill development to know that they are the ones that are moving their arms and legs. It's all subconscious movement in the beginning. And it takes about 4 to 6 months for them to realize that when they move their leg, they feel something. And when someone else moves their leg, they don't feel the same internal feeling. And then when mom moves her arm, I don't feel anything. And that's how they start to develop a sense of self and a sense of identity. This was the cutest and possibly the saddest thing that I had ever learned when I first looked into it. So your baby has spent 9 months in the womb, never having to think, move, breathe, eat, comfort itself, or do anything for itself. And when it's first born, it still doesn't know that it's going to have to do that one day. A real test to see if your baby has a sense of identity or self, put them in front of the mirror and see how they respond.
Things I wish I knew with my firstborn that I know now that I'm a second-time mom. So this is pretty much a whole heap of tips for newborns. So at nighttime, you should always do nappy change first and then a feed, because they're always the sleepiest after a feed. And then during the daytime, you do a feed first and then a nappy change, and then they'll be a little bit more awake from the nappy change. If you have an abundance of milk, once your milk comes in, the letdown might be really fast and your baby might be choking when they're feeding. If you sit back like the way I am now and lean back as if you would sort of in a hospital bed, it can stop the milk from going down too fast. And therefore your baby won't choke as much and it won't be so full on, because I was showering my son. And about active sleep, I think I would have cut so many naps short thinking that my son had woken up, when really he was just in active sleep. They pretty much open their eyes, they cry out, they squirm around, and you think they're awake, but they're actually not. I have so many more, but I don't want this video to be too long, so let me know if you want a part 2.
3 things I wish I knew before becoming a mom. You do not know the person you're having a child with until you have a child with them. You can argue with me all you want, but even if you dated them for 10 years, you still do not know what they're going to be like as a parent to that child. And having a child changes you mentally. That is why there's so many single parents out there. Number 2, there is no such thing as a village. It's an illusion, babe. And don't be fooled because they're around during your whole pregnancy. They're just waiting around to see what the baby gonna look like. Number 3, you don't just lose sleep during the infant stage. You're gonna lose sleep for the rest of your life. Even when they're adults, you're gonna find yourself being up at night worried about their safety. So get some rest now, yeah?
Here are some things I wish I knew about having a newborn 4 weeks in. First, it's super common for your baby to get like little pimples all over their face and body in the first few weeks. It's super common and will go away on its own. Our pediatrician told us that as long as the baby doesn't seem like it's bothering them, it's no big deal. Next is that 99% of the time when they're fussing or crying, it's because they're hungry. And a great cue to listen to is when they're making a n sound. That means they're hungry. Stick them on the boob or give them a bottle. Another one is that it's super normal for your baby to not poop for a few days or even a few weeks. It's nothing to be worried about. It's just something that happens. The next is you need way more newborn diapers than you think. However many you have, double that amount. And then you'll probably need even more than that.
There you go. However many you think you need, double it, and you're probably still not enough.
What he said. Sometimes you're gonna hear little cracking noises in your baby's joints. Also normal, nothing to worry about. It's just their soft tissue rubbing against their hard tissue. Next, it's okay to not change your baby's diaper in the middle of the night if it's just a pee. And the last one is that in the middle of the night, if you hear your baby making like a ton of noises and sounds like it's normal.
I'm currently nap trapped in the car, so let's talk about some more things about having a baby that seem obvious now, but I didn't know before becoming a mom. And there's no shame in any of this. And yes, my dogs are back there too. First up, when you start having blowouts, it's time to size up in diapers. We were in newborn diapers for I think 2.5 weeks, and then we started having blowouts, so we went up to size 1. Same thing with 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. Also, don't open a new box of diapers until you're sure that you're going to use that whole box, because you can go and return those diapers and get a new box. But once it's opened, you can't do that. At the first sign of any redness on their butt, use diaper rash cream. I'm embarrassed to say that at our first pediatrician appointment, they pointed out that there was a little bit of redness, and so we needed to start using diaper rash cream. Thankfully, we caught it early, but I didn't even notice that, and I felt so bad. But then I was like, how would I have known this? This is my first time having a baby. So the first sign of any redness, just start using some cream so that it doesn't get worse. This is the only diaper rash cream we've used, and it is amazing. It works really quick. We've never had a bad diaper rash, knock on wood, thankfully, because of this. I really like this stuff. The safest place for your baby is in their bassinet or crib, following safe sleep guidelines, even if they're not sleeping. So that means having nothing else in the bassinet or crib with them, and if they're swaddled, make sure the swaddle is tight. If you need to put them down, if you need a break, if you're getting frustrated, anything, put them in their bassinet or crib. They will be safe. Even if they're crying, they will be safe in there. It's better to put your baby down if you're getting frustrated and walk away for a couple of minutes than to get frustrated while holding them. So if you need a break or you need to do something without holding your baby, even if they're crying, put them in their bassinet or crib. They will be okay. Number 4, learn how to use your stroller and car seat before having a baby. We put together our stroller and tried to figure out how to use it before having the baby, and that one wasn't too much of an issue. And we had tried to figure out our car seat and even practice putting a stuffed animal in there, but we definitely did not know what we were doing. Our hospital actually didn't let us bring the car seat up to the room, and we basically had to carry our baby out of the hospital and then put him in the car seat in our car. We were standing in front of the hospital with no help, having no clue what we were doing, and I literally had to FaceTime a friend to help because I didn't know what I was doing. And it was really scary and intimidating and stressful. So just make sure you know what you're doing and how to strap your baby into their car seat before having a baby. Finally, babies' feet and hands may look bluish or purple, but that doesn't mean they're not getting circulation. They might be cold, so that's why you want to keep socks or booties and mitts on your baby if needed. But I remember being in the hospital and being so freaked out that my baby's hands and feet were purple, thinking that there was something wrong. And we called the nurse to ask, is our baby okay? And she just said, no, they're just not getting as much circulation there right now. So you want to make sure to keep their hands and feet warm, but it's okay if they might look a little blue or purple. Also, this isn't medical advice. Ask a professional if you're not sure. Let me know if you want another part.
5 completely outdated pregnancy tips from a high-risk labor and delivery nurse. Number 1, no drinking any caffeine during pregnancy. Guess what? That is outdated. Current studies show that during pregnancy or breastfeeding, drinking 200 milligrams of caffeine or less in a day is totally safe. As with everything, this is very person-specific, so always double-check with your provider before making changes to your diet. But for most people, the evidence shows us it's completely fine. Number 2, eating spicy food will make you go into labor. Totally outdated. We currently have zero evidence showing us that consuming spicy food will make you go into labor. I'm sure for some people this is bad news, but honestly, it's not such a bad thing. It's pretty good that you're able to eat spicy food throughout the entire course of your pregnancy, and there is no evidence that is going to send you into labor. Number 3, more babies are born during a full moon. This one's hard for me to believe as a nurse, but not true. There's a lot of data out there about how many babies have been born every day, and we can see patterns. At this point in time, there's no evidence showing us there is any pattern of higher birth rates during full moons. Now, as a nurse of 15 years, this is very hard for me to believe. Definitely feels like there is more chaos. There's a lot more going on at the hospital during a full moon. Currently, the evidence does not support that. Number 4, when you're pregnant, you're eating for 2. It's outdated. It's not true. It may feel true. It definitely felt true for me, but in most cases, we don't need to be eating for 2 actual grown people. Again, this is going to vary from one person to the next, but in most cases, we can expect to consume an extra 300 to 450 calories a day. And this is a very loose ballpark number. And number 5, you shouldn't exercise during pregnancy. This is outdated advice. In fact, in most cases, it's quite the opposite. For most people, we want to maintain the same level of activity or exercise you were doing prior to pregnancy. Evidence shows us there are a lot of benefits to maintaining activity and exercise. Again, this varies from one individual to the next, so it's got to be discussed with your provider. For more information on pregnancy, birth, postpartum, babies, give me a follow, check out my page.
Here are some things that nobody told me about having a newborn. If you have a little girl, they can get periods. A lot of times when babies grunt and cry at night, they're still asleep. Check to make sure their eyes are open before you wake them up. Just go ahead and buy gripe water ahead of time, because when that first night hits where your baby is gassy, you're gonna wish you had the gripe water on your nightstand. Don't try to put your newborn on a schedule. The newborn schedule is that they have no schedule. Feeding your newborn more throughout the day can lead to better and longer stretches at night. This isn't going to start working until they're about 3 or 4 weeks. From the moment you get home from the hospital, let your baby nap in light and in noise. This is going to help you a lot in the future. Don't start changing your newborn's diaper right after the first poop. There's typically about 3 or 4 before the whole poop is done. Your baby's skin is going to peel. All of it's going to peel off. If the umbilical cord falls off and it bleeds a little bit, that's normal. You didn't break it off. The white tip of baby's nails are still sensitive. I don't know, they explained it to me in the hospital, I don't understand, but use a file in the beginning instead of nail clippers.
3 things I wish I knew before I had a kid. You can be married and still give your child a terrible example of what love is supposed to look like. I've had people judge me for not being married and say to me, being married shows your child a good foundation and shows them what love is supposed to look like. Me loving myself is the example that I'm trying to show my child. I'm not saying there's anything against marriage. I'm just saying that if you think the entire foundation of your child's self-esteem is built on you possibly settling for a marriage or thinking that's all you need to show them what love looks like, you might have to reevaluate why you're married in the first place. Number 2, if your child's father is not around, that is not your fault. But what is your fault is if you feel like every guy you date needs to be your child's new father. Please leave that baby out of it. He does not need to call every guy daddy. But number 3, you don't have to settle just because you're a single parent and think that your child just needs to see you with someone. Your child seeing you love yourself is more than enough.
Oh.
my gosh. Welcome to the night shift. I was gonna say we're starting this shift off with a poopy diaper, but we're also starting it off with throw up. Did you have to throw up on me like that? Was that necessary? This was a clean road. The baby's officially 8 weeks today, you guys, and we have switched from the newborn diapers to size 1 diapers. I honestly wasn't gonna bathe her tonight because she did get a bath yesterday, but after how she just pooped and spit up on me, girl's dirty. We gotta bathe her. Sound machine's on the charger, the bassinet's in place. Daddy said he wanted to feed her, so let's go downstairs and check on them. Also tonight, we're trying the Dreamland weighted sleep sack instead of the swaddle, so we'll see how this goes. Baby girl's asleep, and now it's my time to take a shower. That was stressful, y'all. I didn't swaddle her. I just put the sleep sack on her and her startle reflex woke her up. So I took her out, swaddled her, put the sleep sack on, rocked her back to sleep, and she should be good now, prayerfully. Baby girl is swaddled. She's fed. She's changed. She's asleep. 3rd time's a charm. Let's see if she stays asleep. But I'm going downstairs to get my cheesecake because I deserve it.
Things I didn't know about pregnancy. 1 is your tailbone is gonna fucking hurt. I'm talking about it's gonna hurt really, really, really bad. Like you're just gonna be sitting down randomly like, oh my god, my ass. My ass. Yeah, it hurt. I know. But I don't know why that part hurt. I don't know why I hurt either. Ask the doctor. I never did. 2, pins and needles. I ain't know nothing about no pins and needles until I got pregnant. I didn't even know what it was, actually. I was just like, oh my god, my feet. Something stabbing me in my feet. I literally thought I was being stabbed in my foot. Like, all the time. I'm like, what's wrong with my feet? It's like, am I gonna like fall out, like fall down? No, it's because I was like not walking around enough. And I had my feet up all the time because I was high risk. And when I got up and I went to go take a shower, all of a sudden that water hit my foot. It was like, stop. Another thing I didn't know while I was pregnant was toothaches. Oh, all of a sudden, you think your teeth good. They're not good. That motherfucker hurt. My tooth, my back tooth, my wisdom tooth hurted so bad. So bad. To the point I wanted to pull my fucking mouth out. Like, I don't even need my teeth no more. I could just gum it for the rest of my life. Like, that shit hurt so bad. Like, what's going on? Jesus. But all of this stuff is perfectly normal. Apparently.
If you're pregnant and I could give you one piece of advice, take the notes. You didn't hear it from me, but I'm serious. Take the notes. Girl, the amount of times I go back through my album of like my pregnancy and I see my body with a baby inside of it in all of its glory, it's gonna make you want to get knocked up immediately. But your body is freaking incredible. Document it, okay? I'm serious. Take them. Keep them in it. Hit them all on your phone. No one has to see them. But when you've got a 2-year-old running around and you just want to remember what it's like, what did your body look like, what your body grew, you'll be so happy you have it.
The worst month
Worst month to get pregnant is November. I know I'm right, and this is why. Let's say you just have like a random night. Maybe you're listening to Taylor Swift's Red album. You and your significant other decide to make a baby. It's November. It's the least sexy month of the year. It wasn't special. Seriously, it wasn't special. It was at your house. And bam, beginning of November, and you've created a baby. You find out that you're pregnant like days before Thanksgiving. Your period's missed, you're gonna be stressed out. Maybe you even take your freaking pregnancy test at your parents' house. And then you find out you're pregnant, right? But most people don't like to share that they're pregnant until they go to a doctor's appointment or like the end of their first trimester. So you're just gonna be like, holy shit, I'm pregnant. You're not gonna be drinking. Everyone's looking around at the table at Thanksgiving like, did you notice that Ashley didn't have any wine? Wait, yeah, I did notice that. Is that weird? That's weird. No, that's so weird. She always drinks. She always does. Rumors are gonna be flying. And I love you, but that's just the way it is with family. And that's like the one time, even if you don't really drink, you just want a little sip. Not you, Sally Sue. Not you, because you're pregnant. And then you go home, you go to the doctor. It's gonna be hard to make an appointment because people are gonna be traveling. You're gonna start to get sick in December. Fun! That's when you have all of the holiday parties. Maybe celebrate Hanukkah. That is 8 nights of staying up later than you're supposed to. And you're gonna hate it. Spin the dreidel, I'm asleep. Fall asleep on a latke. Christmas, you're gonna be like, what do I do? Because I need to wrap all of these presents and make this day special, but I'm so tired. It's just the way, that's how it works. I'm not a doctor, but observational science. And then there's New Year's. That's gonna be so fun. You can't do anything. Staying up until midnight will honestly be like somebody's pulling your eyelashes out one at a time. Okay, but then you start to slowly kind of pop and you start to feel better typically in your second trimester. Just in time for February, the most lit month of the year. Maybe you won't feel sick for Valentine's Day. You'll have some chocolate. How nice. Wow. Fast forward, March. Throwaway month. That is your glowing month, and it's fucking March. What are you gonna do? Go be pregnant at a St. Patrick's Day party? And then there's April. You're gonna start to get pretty big in April, a little bit less comfortable. Right as the golden period ends, you get sick again. You're gonna be so fucking massive in May. It's getting hotter. People are getting excited for all the fun that they're having. Not you. You can't travel in your last trimester because you have become a waddling human incubator. You're not even allowed to fly. So you are at home. I hope you like your house because you'll be sitting inside in the AC for the entire summer. Oh, by the way, you've missed every summer wedding, all of them. And the only fun things that you have on your calendar are doctor's appointments. It's June. Mosquitoes are biting you places that you can't even reach to itch. You're at the point where you're like, I don't know if I can do this, but then you still have another month. You get to July, your water breaks. July 22nd. You're having a cancer. Enjoy those mood swings. You rush to the hospital just to find out that, of course, most of the hospital is short-staffed. Why? Because everyone's on vacation. Duh. So that's fun. You have a baby. Let's face it, no matter when you have a baby, we're excited. It's a beautiful thing. That's amazing, and I'm so happy for you. But then you go home, you are sweating your face off because you're breastfeeding, so your body secretes a special stink just for your baby to find you. I'm not kidding. Look it up. It's truly science. And you can't leave the house. It's August. Everyone's out having a wonderful time, but you, because you are in a diaper, you're bleeding, you have stitches in your lady friend. November is a no-bone zone. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So apparently a trick baby is a baby that's so easygoing that makes you want to have more. He's just that. Except for I don't want to have any more, but hi. He's so easygoing. Like, he's so playful and happy all of the time. He literally never cries. He sleeps through the night. And today he woke up at like 10:30, 11, slept the entire time. He only wakes up to just get a bottle, and he doesn't even cry. He just makes a couple of noises. He doesn't mind bath time. He doesn't mind the car seat. He's gone on several 5-hour road trips because I'm from Pittsburgh and we live in Philadelphia. So we go to Pittsburgh all of the time. No issues, never had to pull over, nothing. Like, we set it around his feeding schedule and he just has been fine. He's just a really good baby. He'll play independently. I don't have to hold him. He doesn't do contact naps. I mean, he will if I want to cuddle, but he's so good. Right, bud? Right, bud? Right, bud? Mwah!
Are you kidding? kidding me?
Is that remarkable? When an infant's born, a mother experiences a flood of oxytocin. That baby emerges from the womb hardwired to look for a particular person. We all know who that is. Mom. They know her voice. They know her heartbeat. Their cells will remain in her body for the rest of her life.
Really?
There's a lot going on blood flow wise for a mother who's carrying life. That infant, they sense that heart needs help. And those cells that are not yet fully formed beeline it to her heart and help strengthen her heart. Is that remarkable? You'll notice an infant who can barely do anything. They will lock eyes with that mother's eyes. And in that body to body, eye to eye, she literally builds the right brain of that baby. 1 million synapses per second. She will regulate the emotions for that baby who doesn't yet have a sense of emotion. If they're sad, she'll give a sad face and then upregulate it. If the baby's happy, she'll upregulate it more and lay the foundation for their sense of identity.
Interesting fact about babies. This is in fact a baby. Babies actually think that they're an extension of their mother. That you think that you are me and that I am you up until about 6 months old. Why babies can have a lot of anxiety or stress when being separated, specifically from their mom or their primary caregiver, because they think they're one and the same. It's not us. Eventually babies do figure out that they're their own person, their own body, feelings, thoughts. Up until then, they don't even know that their little hands and feet are their own. Oh, are you trying to go and be your own person? Okay, she's grown up.
So here's something that nobody told me before I gave birth. They say that a newborn baby needs to feed every 2 to 3 hours. So I was like, great. I'll breastfeed and then I'll have like 2 to 3 hours to be a person, to shower or, do basic human things like nap or eat food. But here's the crazy thing, and again, the thing that nobody tells you, they start the clock from when the baby starts eating, not when they finish eating. Why is that a big deal, you think? And if you think that you're someone who has never breastfed a baby, because babies take like half hour, 40 minutes to feed, and then you need to burp them, and then you probably need to change them. And so then probably by the time that all's said and done, an hour has gone by. So now what became 2 to 3 hours is now like 1 to 2 hours if you're lucky. So just a PSA that the clock starts when you start breastfeeding. It's crazy. I do nothing else. This is like a full-time job. If you know a person who is breastfeeding a child, buy them like a slice of cake or something because they deserve it.
Things they don't tell you, part 386. A study came out showing if you have sons, as a mom, this ages you faster than having daughters. Research found that mothers with multiple sons exhibited shorter telomeres. Telomeres are protective caps on the DNA that shorten with age. This was compared to mothers that had daughters or less children. This effect is believed to be due to the increased demand of physical activity and stress that it brings to raise boys compared to girls. The study also looked at the potential hormonal and behavioral factors that contribute to the aging process. Sons tend to be more physically active, requiring more physical demand from parents. It was also found that higher testosterone exposure during pregnancy can also increase the aging process. With this knowledge, it's important to remember to take care of yourself and just be more vigilant.
Something I didn't know prior to being pregnant. This one, wild. Okay, it came from my genetics doctor. She said to me that a woman's partner's DNA can be found in their system for up to decades after giving birth. Like, even when that man is not with you, he is still with you. But not only that, okay? She also said that you could be a perfectly healthy woman prior to being pregnant and giving birth, and then after all that, you could have a weakened immune system because your partner had a weak immune system. For decades.
Things my stupid ass didn't know before I had a baby. Not that I didn't know this, but it never sprung my mind that I'm gonna be late for everything. Everything. I didn't know that when a baby is about 2 weeks old, they go into a period of cluster feeding where they're like literally eating every single hour and a half. Yeah, and that it can only last like 2 to 3 days of cluster feeding. I didn't know that some babies' belly or umbilical cords fall off within the first couple of days. Hers fell off when she was 5 days old, and I was scared to death. I never knew that a baby's nose, hands, and feet are practically always cold, no matter how many swaddles and covers and whatnot you put over them. Their feet and hands and nose will always be cold. I also didn't know that when you're breastfeeding that you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night with your boobs rock solid, and I'm talking about with a puddle of milk under you. And I know this is so stupid, but I didn't know that babies come out with eyebrows and eyelashes. I thought that come later. I didn't know that babies have growth spurts every 3 days. Didn't know that. I also did not know that babies cannot see far distances when they're newborns. You have to get like really close in their face, and I think the hearing is the same. I'm not sure. I also didn't know that babies love red lighting. They love red lighting. I don't know. I also didn't know that your pregnancy hormones or whatever, they prolong after giving birth. I also didn't know that between the hours of 2 and 4 is when you produce, or 2 and 4 a.m. is when you produce the most breast milk. So if you want a power pump, between the hours of 2 and 4 are the best times to power pump. I also didn't know, because I'm dumb, that not all newborn clothes are the same. Yeah. Basically, my child can fit some newborn clothes snug, and then other newborn clothes, she's literally so tiny. I also didn't know that some newborns can roll over like being 4 days old. My baby was literally rolling over the second day we got out of the hospital.
This is what my body looks like 1 month after having a baby, okay? I'm doing this to give myself and all the other women permission to have a body that goes through changes, all right? Your body's just been through the most intense physical experience that anybody goes through. All of your organs changed places, your metabolism changed, your hormones changed, and I gave myself permission to not think about my waistline or bouncing back for the first month to 6 weeks during the postpartum healing phase, because right now what my body needs is a little bit of margin. We have this weird unspoken kudos system for how fast can a woman bounce back after they've given birth. More often than not, a woman that gets really thin really fast after giving birth has some adverse side effects also. And in my experience, and from what I've seen and learned, if you have a little bit of healthy weight gain, it can be very protective against negative postpartum symptoms. I've struggled with disordered eating in my past, all right? I've struggled a lot with body image. I've come so far from there, but even I struggle sometimes these days to get up, look in the mirror, and be like, yeah, I love it. Super hot. But you know what? Love it. Super hot. This is not forever, this is a season, and my body is so much more than the sum of its parts. And I found that the kinder I am to it, and the more I work with it rather than trying to subdue it, the better and better it gets. So let's just make postpartum women's bodies morally neutral, shall we? No thoughts or opinions except for, wow, what an incredible and strong body you have.
You guys requested this one too, so this is a video on what they don't tell you about giving birth, or some things that people don't really know happens when you're in labor and when you give birth. So the epidural, you shake uncontrollably, you get very cold, and it can cause you to vomit. Out of nowhere, right before I was starting pushing, I probably had my epidural in for about 20 hours. Right when I started pushing, when I say I just started projectile vomiting a whole bunch of dark purple liquid, and it was just straight up water, just literally just projectile vomiting. And apparently it was normal to be throwing up because of the epidural. So I did not know that. I guess that's why they tell you that you can't eat. Your epidural can run out, and you have the option basically to keep on pushing the button to add more. But there is going to be random points and times where if you feel like your epidural is wearing off, say something, because they had to switch my bag out at least 3 times because I had used up all the epidural and I was thinking I was tweaking. I was like, I can feel my legs. Yeah, no, say something before you start feeling a whole bunch of contractions and all the extra stuff. You have to give your birth plan in right before, like right when you walk in. You don't wait for the doctor, because I did not know, you don't see the doctor really until you're pushing. The doctor did not come in until I was fully prepped and fully dilated and basically legs up ready to push. She did not come in at all. Your nurse and everybody is who's going to be taking care of you for however long you're going to be there. Your birth plan goes to them, not your doctor. Dilating cannot be anticipated. So I took about 28 hours to dilate 4 centimeters. I was induced, and 28 hours, I had the whole little balloon in there and everything. It took me 28 hours to get to 4 centimeters. And then I took like one 15-minute nap, and I woke up and my baby was coming out. Like, her head was coming right out. I went from 4 centimeters to her head coming out in a matter of 15 minutes. So yeah, you cannot guess when you're going to dilate, how long you're going to dilate. You cannot guess that. If you breastfeed, they make you latch almost immediately after they clean the baby off. Sometimes they'll do it before, but I know like right after I had her, I did a little bit of skin to skin. They took her to clean her off, and they removed my epidural and everything. They birthed my placenta and everything. And immediately after, they put her right on me to nurse, like directly on me to nurse. And it's very overwhelming because it's like you don't know if the baby's even getting anything for real. So that's kind of like, you know, kind of hard, and it's kind of nerve-wracking. On top of pains, even with the epidural, even if you do or don't get an epidural, you have a ring of fire. Something called a ring of fire, basically right when the baby's head is pushing clean out, like fully out, like into the earth. It is the most painful, burning, not painful, I'm lying. It was not painful because I had epidural. It was the most burning, stinging, hot sensation down there that I've ever felt in my life. When I say I felt like somebody lit me on fire down there, the ring of fire, your first pee, you probably cannot hold. You cannot even control it. Like, I'm going to be so transparent. My first, like, maybe 10 minutes after I delivered and I got cleaned up and everything, I went to the bathroom. I tried to walk to the bathroom. When I say that I did not even realize the whole time I was walking, I was peeing. It was like I had no control of my pelvic floor for real for like at least a week after I had her. Like, when I say I could not feel anything, I did not really have a much control. It was just like really bad. You have to birth the placenta after. Thank God, for some reason, I did not even feel it come out. Probably because I still have an epidural in. But you have to birth your placenta. And I guess a lot of people say that it hurts real bad. A lot of people say that the placenta was worse than birthing the baby. I had so much adrenaline, but I do know they were pushing down on your stomach to push the placenta out and whatever else they were doing. So I know people say that that's like really painful. You get so many fundal checks, meaning the whole time that you're there, even days after you have the baby, they're going to come in so many times a day and push so hard right here on your stomach. And they have no boundaries in there. When I say I was just laying down, they would just come in and just like look inside my underwear, my little diaper, and they'll just push so hard down, and they're just looking to see if any blood is coming out, I guess to see if you're hemorrhaging or anything. Very, very, very painful. Very painful. This one is kind of 50-50. The epidural, for me, it hurt going in. Some people say that they got numbed. I did not get numbed before I had my epidural. I also was very unlucky because I had a contraction while they were inserting the needle for my epidural. Definitely one of the most painful experiences of my life. A lot of people said that like I didn't really go through labor pain for real because I was only about 3 centimeters dilated when I did get my epidural, but I was induced, so you gotta think I had Pitocin. To know the fact that when you have Pitocin, your contractions are actually like 3 times worse than what they normally would be. So yeah, I got my epidural pretty early, pretty quick. I was in a lot of pain. One thing I did not know, if you get an epidural, you have to get a catheter inserted. That's a huge fear of mine. I did not want to look at it going in. I did not want to feel it going out. I did not want to look at it going out. I did not even want to see what it looks like, because that is a very big fear of mine. What, you want to see yourself? It's a huge fear of mine, catheters. I don't know why, but it's very scary. It's also very common to get the worst UTI of your life after you have that catheter inserted. So make sure you consider that when you get an epidural, because I promise you the UTI after that catheter is worse than any after labor pain that I've ever had The UTI itself was worse than anything because of the catheter. It literally feels like you're peeing out a bowling ball. So yeah.
Ladies, trust me, personally, there are a lot of things I learned after becoming a mother. For example, the baby is not suckling when he's asleep. You see the way babies do their tongue, like the sucking motion. For me, I used to stay there like even 2 hours at night thinking the baby is suckling and he's asleep. When I try to remove the nini, he tries to grab on it. Like, oh my God, I was so stupid. I didn't even know about colic. So the first night that we went home from hospital, the baby cried. Like we even undressed him. We even like were lifting strands of hair after strand of hair to check what is wrong, because this baby is okay. Like, what is wrong? And then guess what? My ex-mother-in-law at the time knew what was disturbing the baby, but she let us struggle through the whole night. Me and my baby daddy at the time, like she let us struggle through the whole night. Let me tell you, there's some things, oh my God, only to tell us in the morning, like, oh no, when a baby first starts taking milk, their stomach has to react because they're not used to it. Let me tell you, it was so bad. There of course a lot of things I've learned that right now I don't really like recall. Like, there are a lot of things I've really learned after becoming a mother that I wish I knew before. Something else that I learned is that, let me tell you, you have to prioritize spending time with your partner. Otherwise, your relationship will really go south. You have to really set the time, prioritize the time of spending time alone with your partner. Otherwise, you will really have it rough, and you actually have to identify support before that baby comes for you to have those moments, for you to even have me time. Like, you really have to identify those moments, let me tell you. And something else is that if a man reacts negatively the moment you announce you're pregnant, please leave, please run, please don't keep that pregnancy, please don't do it, because it will be the worst. It will be just be the worst. And that man right there, if he's not offering you support right there and then, don't think that he'll offer you support after he sees the baby. Don't think that baby will move him. It won't move him. So do what you're supposed to do. And I'm not saying what. Let me tell you, another thing I've learned from this video is a trick baby. I think my son is a trick baby because he has been so easy to raise. He has been so nice. Like, I've really enjoyed this journey with him. So it's so, what do I say? It's so funny. Like, I don't know, but I think that is a trick baby. I always think that my second child will be the headache. God forbid, but he or she will be the headache. And then the fact that a baby's cells strengthening the mom's immune system, like it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Like, nature's work is really amazing. Let me tell you the truth. So anyway, ladies, let me tell you, some of these videos scare me. Even me as a mom, they scare me. Even if I've had a baby, they really scare me. Now I'm even scared to have another child. Let me tell you the truth. Anyway, ladies, I'm not talking for too much. This commentary wasn't so long. I'm sure you've watched the whole video and this video was so long, so let me not talk too much. Ladies, have a nice day and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.